So, Ouroboros does training as well, huh?
You're...
Shania. Shania Reid.
Shania Reid is probably the most controversial character in the entire game. There's me, who loves her and thinks she's misunderstood, and then there's literally everyone else who are sensible people and hate her. Shania is the character I can relate to the most in the entire series. I see so much of myself in her that it almost actually kinda hurts. Shania is a beautifully written character, and I fear I won't be able to do her justice, but I'm damn sure going to try. Shania's story is a tragic one, and I'm here to convert you to my religion. Shania's tale is one of low self-esteem, loneliness, and a constant desire for validation. But first, let me give a quick summary of her journey. Shania was a very close friend of Gondor's. Shania was aspiring to be a painter. However, her mother's crushing expectations of her to be the new heir of House Reid caused her to give up her dream of being a painter. This led her to try and mimic Gondor for validation from others. Gondor took notice and tried to convince Shania to be herself, instead of trying to be someone she's not. Shania took his disapproval as a personal attack and became obsessed with proving her superiority over Gondor. This caused her mental health to decline, and she was eventually convinced that the endless cycle of war to ensure being reborn over and over again was preferable to just having one chance at life, to where people like her wouldn't even have a chance to live in peace. She was convinced by X to give in to her jealousy and despair and spy on the lost numbers before having a flame clock installed and betraying the city. Now, Shania has clearly been on a significant downward spiral up to this point, but the next series of events is what really sent her into true misery. After Evil Noah is defeated at Agnes Castle, Shania thinks she still has the upper hand and laughs with satisfaction, thinking that she had destroyed the city. But Gondor relays that she knew the plan all along and preemptively relocated the city. Shania, feeling totally defeated, lost her last morsel of mental stability and had a full mental breakdown.
All right. I'm not gonna ask why. I suppose I know the reason. But if it's what I'm thinking, then I don't get it at all. If we'd made one mistake, the city would have been wiped out. Before we're done, you'll tell me everything I want to know. Shania.
It's your eyes, that look! You've always looked at me that way. Why did it have to be like this? Why is it always me, standing here on my own?
Shania.
I've had it. I've had it up to here.
Shania! Drop it! This isn't what I meant by dad!
Don't misunderstand. This is the beginning!
Shania!
And for most people, that's the end of it. Just based off that, Shania seems like a pretty shitty person. That is the case for most people. However, her story doesn't end there. Arguably, the main substance of her story lies in Senna's side. It actually makes a lot more sense than it appears on the surface, and I'll explain later. Sometime later, after Shania ends her life, she awakens as a Mobius, where she is greeted by X. X shows her reflection of Gondor in the pool she woke up in and tells Shania to destroy the Faker.
today, you're officially a fully fledged Mobius, comrade.
I became Mobius.
You can play to your heart's content. The fun starts here, eh? You get a fresh start. Forget about your old self.
So I get to do whatever I want.
You want to be someone, right? Not some kind of phony. The real deal.
Don't you have any originality?
You can be. You've just got to destroy the faker. See?
The faker.
Come on now. Be true to yourself.
I know who it is. The faker.
She proceeds to the city to freeze everyone in time so she can rearrange them as her art. This is actually rather quite poetic because her deepest desire is to be an artist, and she refers to the city and the lost numbers as her canvas for her art. After which, Gondor taunts Shania and engages her. The party successfully defeated Shania, leading her desire to beat Gondor to strengthen. It's only after Gondor mortally wounds Shania that Gondor finally gets through to her, and she finally realizes that her father and friends genuinely cared about her and appreciated her supposedly useless talent. Shania, finally for the first time in a long time, gets to be truly happy and dies with a long-awaited smile on her face. Now, why did Shania have such a hard fall and difficult life? There's no simple answer, and there are plenty of contributing factors, so let's dive into what makes Shania the most relatable character in the series. As I said before, the root of Shania's struggles are a deep sense of low self-esteem, loneliness, and a consistent yearning for validation, especially from her mother in Gondor. Shania was a much happier person before her father's death, because he was supportive of her in her artistic endeavors.
Is that Titania's gun, Shania?
Yeah. She's not around anymore. I have to do what I can.
Shania, put it down.
Huh?
Put the gun down.
Okay.
Wouldn't you prefer something a little more like this?
Huh? But...
Daddy just wants to see his daughter enjoying doing the things she loves the most.
Papa...
Go on.
Unfortunately, this support and happiness was ephemeral. After the death of her father, Shania was left alone with her mother, who put more importance on the household name rather than her daughter's own happiness and well-being. This lack of emotional support and affection only fed into Shania's misery and worthlessness. Her mother would constantly compare her to others in their achievements, especially to Gondor. This caused Shania to develop disdain for Gondor. It makes it even harder on her that she has to shoulder the immense pressure of being the sole heir to House Reid after her sister, Titania, passed away. Her mother was always disappointed with Shania and would never acknowledge her own personal achievements, even when achieving incredible feats such as getting 8th place in the Ouroboros selection test out of 100. Your mother was never satisfied.
Mummy! I did it! I'm a candidate!
What rank?
Huh? Rank?
What place were you? They must have said.
I ranked 8th place.
A reserve, then?
But in the 3rd test, there were 100 people.
Only 6 of us can become Ouroboros. If you aren't one of those 6, you may as well be dead last. We are one of the 6 houses. The Reid family honor is at stake. And Vandam?
Huh?
The Vandam girl, Gondor.
Gondor was 1st place.
Those bloody upstarts at it again. How could we lose to those nobodies? Every generation up until your father, bless his soul, made the main team. If only dear Titania were still alive. Some legacy this is.
This contentment only augmented her misery and lowered her confidence even more. She eventually gave up her love for painting, believing it was distracting her from becoming an Ouroboros candidate. Her mother was so ashamed of her and so fixated on the family legacy that she unapologetically had the audacity to start insulting Shania at her grave.
Oh, do stop. You're wasting your time with that.
Huh?
How much longer will you drag our family's name through the mud? So she met her end as our Mobius. Please. What a pathetic child.
Say that again!
Monica, what now?
I actually have personal experience with being raised by a neglectful mother while my father was overseas in the military, so I can relate tremendously to Shania. The lack of emotional attention from a parent can heavily affect a person's mental state and development. Shania has very skewed worldviews because she didn't have anyone there for her in her times of need after her father died. So she developed a standoffish, cynical viewpoint of the world. I can attest to this because I have a similar cynical perspective in believing that the world is against me based on how I grew up, despite knowing that's clearly not the case. This in turn leads Shania to believe that a world where you get to start over and try again continuously is ideal in hopes that she'll maybe get another chance to be something next time round.
What's so natural about the life you want? A life you only get one shot at? At any point, someone could come along and tell you, okay, that's it, time to go.
And who are you to say that life's worse?
I know more than you. It's madness wanting a world like that. The best world for us is a world that at least gives us another go. We fail, we try again. We might even do better next time round.
Shania, enough now. We're made to fight, to kill each other. Every single day, just hoping to see another dawn.
Either way, we're still fighting for survival, aren't we? Am I crazy? Am I saying something strange? Because I don't think so. I genuinely don't.
So with her fragile state of mind and succumbing to X's manipulation, it was only inevitable that Shania became a Mobius. And to her, becoming Mobius and taking part in the cycle was truly the best thing for her. This is not a case like Malos, where he was aware of his own corruption and ultimately was content with it. Shania had nothing and genuinely saw nothing wrong with the Endless Now due to her sad and painful experiences.
Just what the hell do you know? You dream of living out your days in peace. You want to protect the natural way of life. All that shite is a right afforded only to the powerful. What about those who can't live in peace, huh? Are they meant to survive in all this chaos until the very day they die? I have not one thing to my name. I don't even have the power to choose. Screw it. For all I care, all of this can go to hell!
Becoming Mobius finally gave Shania the control she always longed for. She finally knew how it felt to have some type of power, control over her own life. That power got to her head quickly.
Being Mobius. It's just incredible.
Excuse me?
I have control. Just look, I can freeze everything in its place. Humans and objects. Exactly like a painting on a canvas.
That's it. That's why you made everyone stop.
I even have the power to stop the very flow of air itself. What do you think might happen if I do that?
You dare.
It's a real sight to behold, eh, Gondor? I could almost paint it right now.
Controversial as this may sound, I think, in theory, the Mobius cycle of constantly being reborn to try again at life isn't inherently destructive or pessimistic in nature. It's just that the delivery and the way Mobius went about it, by creating an endless cycle of war and bloodshed, is humane and unethical. Gondor would take notice of Shania's imitation of her, and this would only strain their already rocky relationship. This even angered Gondor, as she knew this wasn't where Shania's talents lied and just wanted her to be true to herself.
Would you quit copying me? You're not even good with those things. Too heavy for ya. Your sister's gun. You don't need that, ditch it. That's not where your talents lie.
I tried ditching it. I would have if I could. Long ago.
I actually want to talk about Gondor for a minute because I think many people fail to realize just how big of an impact she actually had on Shania. I'm not saying she was the sole reason or even at fault. I'm just saying that she is a contributing factor. Gondor knew Shania had talent and was frustrated that she was wasting it trying to be something she's not in order to gain approval. Shania put all of her effort into imitating Gondor, and understandably, Gondor was tired of Shania misdirecting her talent.
Heard you bombed the selection test, and not for the first time.
Yeah. I couldn't win. In the last round.
Why'd you use the cestus? You can barely throw a punch, makes no sense.
Because I thought if I used your weapon, I could capture a bit of the Gondor spirit.
You know that name pisses me off. And more excuses, eh? Stop copying me. You're even wearing my gloves now. Right, enough is enough. Nothing to say for yourself. Ugh, hang on at leftness. Don't you have any originality? It's no wonder you lost. No wonder you never get picked.
Gondor had good intentions in trying to get Shania to realize her own talents, but her delivery was more destructive than constructive. Gondor is an aggressive and assertive person, but she claims that she has to be, or else she would have turned out like Shania.
I didn't know. She had a rough time of it.
That kid. She was always trying to please her mum. No, trying to live up to her mum's expectations. Thing is, sometimes life deals you a shitty hand. We were all desperate. Should have seen the crap I went through. This ain't a sympathy vote, though.
You're so strong, more than me.
That doesn't even factor. It's your attitude that matters.
I hate to break it to you, but that's being strong.
I was born with a gift, and I'm using it as all.
And if you hadn't been born with it?
You see the problem now?
Gondor wanted to see Shania succeed in what she loved and even appreciated Shania's talents. Gondor saw that Shania was an exceptional painter and just wanted her friend to be happy doing what she loved.
Oh, didn't know you could paint like that.
No, this isn't...
Come on, show me some more. Ooh. Hey, this is your dad, right? Ha, and this one's my stinky old man, eh? It looks just like him. You're bloody good. But why them?
'Cause I want to be like them someday. Protecting the city. Everyone looking up to me.
That your dream? Not sure you need to be worrying about something like that.
Huh?
They're just a bunch of old fogies. Just be true to yourself. Bet none of those farts could make art like this. This should be your calling.
Shania was so clouded by her own rage and jealousy to see that Gondor was being tough on her to get through to her because she actually cared. It would be easy to understand that Shania took this tough love as pretentious gloating. Gondor had everything going for her. She's the daughter of Monica Van Dam, who is the head of the city, and both of who belong to the House of Van Dam. The Van Dam house was the most premier house of the 6 houses of the city. Gondor even placed first in her Ouroboros candidate selection test.
Oh, you've had it easy, my friend. The great Guernica was your granddad, and your mediocre mother, the city elder. Oh, and let's not forget your stellar Ouroboros results. Of course you would have to ask that. You never did care about what I wanted.
Considering how much Shania looked up to Gondor and everything that happened between them, Shania became very vindictive of Gondor, and that was the major driving force for Shania. Shania was so clouded by her own jealousy for Gondor and desire to be someone in the world that she was never able to see Gondor's message about just being true to herself instead of trying to do something she thought she had to instead of something she wanted to.
I can't lose this! If I screw this one up, there's no place for me left in this world!
How do you still not get the message?
Now, finally, Shania's development being a part of Senna's side story is actually a clever move. Shania and Senna actually mirror each other. They both suffered from loneliness and the constant seek for validation from others. Shania even noticed this the first time her and Senna met.
Hey, do you always work so hard for approval? That fun?
Huh? You can tell?
That's right. 'Cause we're just the same.
They both had pretty low self-esteem and confidence issues. However, the difference between the two is that Senna had a much better support system in Mio. Mio was a lot more compassionate and supportive, as opposed to Gondor, who was more tough and assertive.
That's the thing. Mimi and the others are doing their best. I need to as well. Anything to help me get an edge. So,
Ah. Mimi, is it? That's what you call her? The one with the long ears?
yeah. We've always been in the same colony.
You're friends.
That might be saying a lot. She's kinda like my role model. She's strong, kind, mega dependable. You're Senna, right? Huh? Oh, it's... You are... I'm Mio, third term. We haven't met before, have we? Oh, I'm sorry. Your name totally slipped my mind. But I don't think we've talked before. You know, I was just looking for a training partner. For the trial? I like to think I'm pretty quick on my feet, but I'm not really strong enough. Our captain said you would make a good addition, and that you're super strong. He's exaggerating. I'm totally average, totally. Wanna try? Teaming up? With you? You sure? I'm a nobody. Sure, I'm sure. I'm literally asking you right now. It's your choice. Well, if you really don't mind, sure. Really? Golden? We're a team then. Thank you.
Role model.
She's the one who's kept me going. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Shania was a living example of what might have happened to Senna if she didn't have a healthy and effective source of support. This just makes Shania's dilemma so much sadder, because she had no one there for her in her times of need. Shania would always be left on her own to cry and deal with her issues, no way to release all the bottled up tension. Gondor was the breaking point for Shania, and kickstarted her mental deterioration. This contrast between Shania and Senna just goes to show how important it is to have kind and understanding people there who support you through your struggles. Humans are naturally social creatures, so having that healthy social interaction is integral to functioning and developing as a. If you're ever in need of help or support, don't hesitate to reach out to someone who cares about you. Shania struggled through the majority of her life, and unfortunately didn't have the means to evolve into a better person. And who can blame her? She had a very conflicting life. She had her mother, who was discouraging any sense of originality from her, and then Gondor, who was encouraging all senses of originality from her. So she was very conflicted with these two polar opposite forces. Despite everything, though, that she had happened, Shania Reid was able to go out with a beautiful smile on her face.
Hey.
Hmm?
You hate it, right? Your name? Why not ditch it?
Like that's an option. Much as I whine about it, it makes me feel connected wherever I am. It's special because it's the name she gave me. Kinda the same as your talent.
Sounds nice. I like it. Shania.
We'll make that world ourselves. We'll make it real.
Here I am, staring at my own palms. I feel the warmth of your hand. I thought I'd be forever by your side, protecting you, assuming that's what you wanted to. Embracing me, I'm at a loss
Shania was able to smile?
Next time round, she'll be fine.